So, I'm assuming you went and watched her videos by now. And if so, then, yeah. Yikes. Also, since she mentioned it, I don't know what exactly the tweet was that caused Dream to block Amanda, but I'm pretty sure it's this one. I mean, also because this was said under it, but yeah. Anyway, as you might have expected, this rightfully caused a lot of uproar. The hashtag Dream as a Freak was made and trended on Twitter for several days as people try to spread the allegations and get them to be acknowledged, warning others to distance themselves from Dream's content and reminding people to believe Anastasia and Amanda and to stick by their sides. However, a lot of Dream's fan base and just some other random strange people made some defenses for Dream's possible behavior. So before we get into his response to all of this, let's just debunk some of those to hopefully get us all on the same page. One of the most common arguments against the alleged victims is, so they were both 17? That's so close to being 18 though. You know, to being a legal adult like Dream is? I don't see how there could be a problem with this. My guys, since when did almost 18 equal 18? Hmm? 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 Amanda and Anastasia being almost 18 does not make them 18. By the law, they were still minors, and as the legal adult in their situations, it would have been up to Dream to ensure he wasn't engaging in an inappropriate conversation with either of them. As the adult, it would have been his responsibility to make sure these strangers were of legal age before continuing to have those kinds of discussions with them. Yes, people lie about their ages online, though as stated previously, we were shown by Anastasia that she told Dream she was not yet 18, so that's one down. In the case of Amanda, I haven't seen anywhere where she stated she was 16 or 17 in their DMs, but on the other hand, I haven't seen anything showing her lying about her age to Dream and claiming that she was older than she actually was to him, which is something that should be noted. But now that the age debacle is out of the way, let's get one thing clear. Regardless of if they were legal adults or not, the things Dream was alleged to have done to them would still be grooming. Yeah, you heard me right. It seems a lot of people either don't know this or are willingly ignorant to it, but grooming is something that can happen to anyone at any age. See, even if they were 18 or older, Dream would still be in the wrong for allegedly having these private flirtatious conversations with them. The guy had tens of millions, okay, millions of subscribers in his fan base. And Anastasia and Amanda were a part of that large number who watch his content and idolize him. I mean, this is clearly shown by the first message Amanda claims she sent to Dream. And to be honest, looking at it again after seeing those videos and knowing of everything she says that ended up coming after it is pretty upsetting. But moving forward, now that I might have flipped some of you guys' understanding of grooming on its head, let's discuss in more detail what grooming is. According to the RAIN organization, grooming can be defined as manipulative behaviors that the abuser uses to gain access to a potential victim, coerce them to agree to the abuse, and reduce the risk of being caught. While these tactics are used most often against younger kids, teens and vulnerable adults are also at risk. Grooming can take place online or in person. And in case you're concerned and confused about the usage of the word abuse for this, let's just see what RAIN means exactly by that. See, sometimes abuse in grooming takes the form of financial abuse, which is typically more common in adult grooming, but other times it takes the form of sexual abuse. And since this video is covering alleged sexual interactions that were had with minors, we're going to go with Rain's explanation of child sexual abuse. Rain describes child sexual abuse as a form of child abuse that includes sexual activity with a minor. A child cannot consent to any form of sexual activity, period. When a perpetrator engages with a child in this way, they are committing a crime that can have lasting effects on the victim for years. Child sexual abuse does not need to include physical contact between a perpetrator and a child. They then go on to cover some of the forms child sexual abuse can take, like exhibitionism, which is exposing oneself to a minor, obscene conversations, phone calls, text messages, or digital interaction, producing, owning, or sharing pornographic images or movies of children, and any other contact of a sexual nature that involves a minor, all of which Amanda claimed happened to her. To briefly re-mention Anastasia, it can be said that the second form was allegedly done to her as well, because even though some people say the messages between her and Dream weren't quote unquote super explicit, like there's no doubt about it that they were definitely inappropriate and were not anything that anyone should be saying to a minor as an adult. So to continue, let's revisit Rain's explanation of grooming and go over any similarities in the patterns they say that it often takes with the conversations Dream and Amanda allegedly had. They state that the first step in this pattern of grooming is victim selection, where abusers observe possible victims and select them based on ease of access to them or their perceived vulnerability. This could have happened when Dream responded to Amanda's first message to him. It was in a private area through DMs, making it easier for him to access her in secret. In his eyes, she might have also been an easy target based on said first message he received from her. The second step is gaining access and isolating the victim, where abusers will attempt to physically or emotionally separate a victim from those protecting them, and often seek out positions in which they have contact with minors. We can see this where Dream allegedly gives Amanda his private Snapchat, therefore making their conversations even more secluded. Also, remember that Amanda stated that this action of seclusion was what led the seemingly friendly and wholesome conversations the two were having to take a turn for the worse. The third step is trust development and keeping secrets, where abusers attempt to gain trust of a potential victim through gifts, attention, sharing secrets, and other means to make them feel that they have a caring relationship and to train them to keep the relationship secret. A level of trust had already been established, considering Amanda had been a stan of Dream and he was her favorite YouTuber, but repeatedly giving her attention by constantly responding to and complimenting her would have definitely emboldened that trust and made her feel special to him. As Amanda decided against saving some messages between her and Dream in hopes that she could keep his trust, therefore keeping whatever conversations they might have had even more of a secret. In addition to this, in the DMs, we can see that she was given a $100 Amazon gift card, so we could check the gift giving off the list there too. The fourth step is desensitization to touch and discussion of sexual topics, where abusers will often start to touch a victim in ways that appear harmless, such as hugging, wrestling, and tickling, and later escalate to increasingly more sexual contact, such as massages or showering together. Abusers may also show the victim pornography or discuss sexual topics with them to introduce the idea of sexual contact. And, according to Amanda, she was sent various pornographic images of Dream by him, and they discussed and planned out having intercourse in detail. Once again, as a minor, Amanda legally would not have been able to consent to these pictures being sent to her, nor would she have been able to consent to those kinds of conversations in the first place. The last step is the attempt by abusers to make their behavior seem natural, to avoid raising suspicions. Which, I mean, I feel like that just speaks for itself. It's not like he would try to go out of his way to make things seem unnatural if he wanted her to stick around for him to get whatever he wanted out of her. And so, yeah, there we have it. That really does look like a pretty textbook description of the common grooming pattern right there. Some of the other defenses went along the lines of, oh wow, but the conversations we're shown look so tame. This can't possibly be grooming. Even though, from what we could see, steps 1 through 3 still seem to have occurred. Like, seeing how these interactions showed a pattern of grooming, and yet so many people immediately shut the alleged victims down regardless is really something else. And even still, the conversation still would have been private flirtatious interactions between a 22-year-old internet celebrity and one of his 17-year-old stans, while the massive power imbalance elephant was standing in the room the whole time. I genuinely don't get how people look at that possible situation and call it normal. Like, what the darn are you thinking? This just seems like willful ignorance.